What's up everybody, it's TradeX again. This is my trading den, so welcome. Today we're going to do a quick recap of today's session, and today is Monday the 20th of March. I'll start by saying the way I like to trade my week is I build into Monday, and then Tuesday I start ramping up. Wednesday is my peak, and then Thursday I sort of scale it back a bit, and Friday I'm fully taking my foot off the gas, okay? And inside Red Pill we call that 5 handle Fridays. That's all we're searching for, okay? Monday was very, very similar for me today in the sense that I was not looking for rangy trades. And the reason being is that we saw a lot of range in London and Asian session. And we also have big news event coming out this week, right? We have FOMC, our boy Jerome Powell speaking at 2 p.m. on Wednesday. And then we also have CPI on Friday. So what we're likely to expect between now and Wednesday, we're likely to see choppy price action. Throwing the fact that we had range in the morning, I was expecting the AM session to be choppy. I was therefore looking to take a trade in the AM session pre-market and get out of here. Get out of here and not get caught up in this chop. And this is what actually transpired, and this is what the trade I took. So I'll talk you through it. If we start on the daily, we were hovering around at this time here. So I'm going to start at this piece of price action here. We were hovering around equilibrium with this price range, okay, on the daily, right? We were also inside, if we look at the hourly, we were in and around this range, okay? This CIBI, okay? And I was looking for price to run up and fulfill this CIBI, okay? Because this was a price where price hadn't been fully balanced, okay? And my overall macro is bullish. If you've been reading my or watching my videos recently, if you've been inside Red Pill, you'll know that anything inside of here I'm looking as accumulation. I therefore see no reason for price to come back down again. I believed it was on a buying program to come and rebalance this imbalance here, okay, so run into a deeper premium. Therefore, if we had this order block here, I didn't see price wanting to go below that order block. It had no reason to, and therefore I was expecting price to reach into this fair value gap. Right, what was I looking for on a lower time frame? I was looking for reasons why to take an entry. And so we know that the mitigation block is the line in the sand on the PD matrix of what price has to go through if it wants to run through into a deeper discount. So if I see a mitigation block at an area where I believe price is going to move higher, this is a really sound entry level for me. And I'll put my stop below. Because if it breaks below the mitigation block, it's got a high likelihood that it's going to run to a deeper discount. So if I can frame my trade around a mitigation block and see how price interacts around that, this puts me in the good position to take profitable trades, right? Now, I didn't take this mitigation block entry. I wanted to see how it interacted. And what did we have straight after mitigation block? We had its best power, right? It had its best power breaker block hanging out close by, right? And so when price came back into this breaker block, and this is a breaker block because we have the low, the high, the lower low which sweeps the sell side of the previous, this is now a breaker block different to a mitigation block because the mitigation block doesn't break below this low, okay? So this is a mit, this is a breaker. Now, price, various times, didn't want to punch through this breaker. So I got in here, bingo, bosh, in. What was I targeting? I was personally targeting low-hanging fruit at 58, and the reason being is if we just jump down onto the new weekly opening gappy chart, you can see that it was here. This is that same breaker, and I was targeting consequential encroachment of the new weekly opening gap. And as we know, new weekly opening gaps have quadrants, and it was also Wednesday's close, and so on RTH level, this was a point of interest for me. Ultimately, we could have, and that was enough for me. That was 10 handles. I was quite happy with that. I thought price action might be chopping, just whips all the way back down here. I got out, took my 10 handles, very happy with that. But what could you have hung onto if you were open to a little bit more risk? You could have ran up to a standard deviation on this price leg. One standard deviation, 2 times standard deviation. What did it run to? 2 times standard deviation. Would have been a nice trade holding to that terminus, but it wasn't for me. I'm just looking to take myself 10 handles on a choppy Monday, and I'm very, very happy with that. Okay. Now, if we go back into and move forward, rather, into the open, what were we looking for? Us inside Red Pill, absolutely nothing. Why? Because we were expecting chop, right? We were expecting chop for the reasons I mentioned at the start of this video, okay? Now, where we were is that we were now inside this CIBI. So I was looking for this SIBI to now act as support. So I didn't want to see price break below. Now, where did we find support ultimately at the AM just after the open around 9:50? Where did we find support? We found support at that medication block again. Funny enough, right? The old line in the sand. I didn't take that trade, but price ran up. And then what did we get again? We got another breaker. Talk about the day of the breaker, right? Day of the breaker. So when price, I didn't get involved in any of this, but when price came back into this level, this was an entry to move to take an entry long, right? This was an entry to take price long, and then we had a little volume imbalance which formed here, and you can see how well that volume balance was respected on the 1 minute, and price moved higher. Okay, price moved higher. What was it ultimately reaching for? Okay, what was it ultimately reaching for? It was reaching for this OTE zone, and ultimately inside of that, this rejection candle. Okay, so I called this out live early in the morning. I believe price was going to run higher. I believed it had potential to fill this SIBI and ultimately run us up into this area here. The reason why I believe it's going to punch us into this SIBI before FOMC is because I feel they are going to want to leave us in no man's land ahead of FOMC. So we don't know which direction price is going to head. And as we know, the market makers do not want the average Joe, which is you and I, to be in on the trade. Now, if price is around here, it's more likely that you're going to pick a long, okay, because it's just been accumulating for so long. But if they leave us up here, you know, it leaves an element of question in your mind. Therefore, my feeling is they run us up into this level. I could, of course, be wrong, but that's just my general sentiment on ahead of FOMC. All right. Now, price ultimately fulfilled that objective. It ran up into this rejection block, filled it quite nicely. And then what are we looking for here on the price return? This is something I'd like to talk about right now. Is if we are seeing price fail and it's wanting to now run back through into a discount, okay, because it had fulfilled its objective of running into a premium and now it was looking to head lower. And we could have not got involved in any of this chop. I mean, if you look at all this price action, it's absolutely disgusting, right? Just not very nice price action at all. But if you'd waited and stayed patient, you could have got in on this breaker here, okay? Quite a wide stop, granted, but you know it was a breaker nonetheless. You can see how price ran into it and rejected. Now, what could you have taken once you took that breaker? What would the price have been searching for? Well, we know that if sell side or buy side has been taken at a higher time frame, it's likely that price, well, it's not even likely, this is what price will do. It will go and search for the nearest breaker. Where is the nearest breaker? It was back down to this breaker which formed in the AM session. So your short was up here and you would have been targeting this breaker. If you wanted to be sort of really super cautious, you could have obviously just taken your partials off of the 62%, or if you want to be super safe, but you sort of dial in your entry even more. But the breaker block was your ultimate target. Now, what did price draw into? This is quite interesting. This level here at lunch. Why did it bounce at this level? If we jump into our new weekly opening gap chart, we can see it actually came back all the way down to Monday, which is today's open price, which is a funny level because, as we talk about fair value, is that not true fair value? Price coming all the way back to this Monday's open price, right? Funny how the markets work. And so the price rallied off of that and moved higher. What did we happen to be in down here as well on the higher time frame? We were inside that SIBI, which is what I was talking about as acting as support, okay? And it was also this bullish order block. So we had multiple confluences to go long here. And I personally wasn't around to take that trade, so I was doing the spaces with my boy Kit. But I did mention that price was likely to rally up and come up and fill this SIBI, this sell side and balance, buy side and efficiency first, but then ultimately look to draw up into here and then eventually up into here. We didn't quite get the gas to get up there today, but it's all good. We don't have to catch every trade every second of every day. So guys, that's going to be it for me today. Biggest takeaway for me would be, just build into your weeks and just, anticipate chop. And if you're going to anticipate chop, don't get caught into it, and just wait for your time, wait for your algos to set up. So a 950 or the 1050 algos, sort of the 1050, 1110, and you can see it around 1050 price really started to get clean. So just avoid the chop. If you're aware price is likely to be choppy in the morning, just stay out of it and wait for move later in the morning session, or indeed wait for the PM session. So guys, that's going to be it for me today. If you found this video useful, please do consider smashing the like and subscribe. And as always, trade safe, trade smart, and I will see you on the other side. Take care now. Bye bye bye.